j'ai peur et j'ai besoin de toi encore. Ils ont tort, emmène-moi et peut-être je vis.
Deconstructing the biblical psychosis in African people requires 4 things. Please write them down. The 4 things are actually listed, believe it or not, in the biblical text. These 4 things that are required for liberating our African minds. Matthew 10 and 8 names the 4 things. What are they? Read them to me. Heal the sick. What else? Cleanse the lepers. What else? Raise the dead. And what else? That's all that verse says, y'all. If you read it in your Bibles, it only says those 4 things. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. See, this is one of the reasons why I try to tell people you need to know how to read. Not just the Bible, you need to know how to read, period. You need to know how to understand literary works, period. Now let's examine these points right quickly. Heal, let's deal with that. Let's break it down one word at a time. Heal. The word heal comes from the word therapeuo. Does that sound familiar? What English word comes from that? Therapy, exactly. So when we see the word heal in this verse, it means to give therapy to the people who are in this condition. And actually it's not talking about a chemical biological disease. It's talking about a condition. Heal, cure, restore to health. Who are we to heal? What does it say? Sick. Who are we to heal? Sick. The sick. From the word astheneo. Sound familiar? Yes. What English word is close to that? Anesthetic. Anesthesia. What does anesthesia do? It puts you to sleep. If you got general anesthesia, which most of us have, if you got local anesthesia, it puts that area to sleep. Yes. So you see, sick here does not have anything to do with biologically ill. It means to be weak. It means to be feeble. Check out this next line. To be without strength. To be powerless. So far what we have is restore to health. Give therapy to those who are without strength. Give therapy to those who are powerless. Let's look at the next one. Cleanse the lepers. Now that's deep because in your Strongs you'll see that comes, there's one word for that whole phrase. Catharizo. That's how it's pronounced. Catharizo. Now this is some deep stuff because look at what it says. Cleanse the lepers means to do what? Purify yourselves from wickedness. Wait a minute. What is wicked about a leper? Come on now, come on. Think with me. What's wicked about a leper? In the biblical perspective, when one came down with leprosy, their skin turned white. Yeah. Here it's actually called wickedness, right in the biblical text. Cleanse or purify yourselves from the wickedness of this kind of leprosy. yourself, black man, black woman. Consecrate yourself by cleansing or purifying your environment. Now, listen, y'all, I know that we're in a bad situation. How in the world do you reverse? How do you undo? For example, when a black man has married a white woman, or when a white woman has married a black man because they didn't know any better, to be honest with you, and you come into right consciousness, how do you undo that? Look at the person next to you and say, you stuck in a situation at that time. You will have a hard time carrying out this part of this verse. Consecrate yourself, dedicate yourself, but you gotta do it by purifying the wickedness from among you. Raise. Now the whole phrase is actually raise the dead, but let's understand what the word raise means. That's why I said definition is very important here. Raise comes from the word egero, which means to awaken someone. Wake them up and then raise them up. It ain't enough to just wake up. You've got too many black folk who are awake, but they're still laying down. Yeah, bro, Ray, I listen to you every Sunday morning. Yeah, man, I'm learning so much from you. But what you doing with it? Not enough to listen and learn. You gotta get busy. Become productive. Yes, sir. Stir up against one. Raise, here's getting good now, the dead.
Yes, sir.
Who are they?
Uh-oh.
Are we talking about people here who's not breathing?
No, sir.
Dead in this verse comes from the word necros. It's the root word of where we call today necromania or necromancy. Whenever you see N-E-C-R-O, you know it's got something to do with dead. The dead in this verse means those who are destitute of life, without life, inanimate, destitute of force or power, inactive, inoperative. Those people who listen and learn and become armchair revolutionaries.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. You know you can count on me. Call me on the phone and tell me you with me. You know, we got to get busy, man. This movement is serious. And you ain't came out your house yet. I ain't talking to y'all, evidently you're here. Talking to y'all is watching me right now. Ain't came out your house yet. You got a nigger mentality. And you need to get rid of it. Cast out demons. I ain't get to demons yet. Let's just deal with cast out. The word ekbalo. Now notice what this is. Look at the person next to you and say, this means we ain't got time to be playing. To cast out means to drive out. To send out with a notion of violence.
Yes, sir.
This is where the warriors have to come into play.
Yes, sir.
Because see, some of y'all ain't violent enough.
That's right.
Some of y'all say stuff and folk think you don't mean it. Because of how you say it. You know, you can, see, in the Marines we learned something about put on your war face. Any ex-Marine here know what I'm talking about? Yeah, put on your war face. See what I'm saying? And that wasn't a pretty sight either, to be honest with you. But when you walk up to somebody with your war face, they know you mean what you say. Even if you can't whip them, they think you can. That's the power of a war face. Drive out with a notion of violence. Ekbalo means to deprive someone of the influence that they exercise in the world. Ekbalo means to lead someone forth or away somewhere with a force which they cannot resist. I remember, and I don't say this with glee, we had a brother came here one time, and security told him he had to sit in the back because he had already tried to attack me at the radio station. And they said he had to sit in the back seat where they could watch him. He said, no, I'm coming. I need to go down front. I need to sit right in front of Dr. Hagin. So, of course, I guess all kind of historical events start going through their mind. And they said, no, you can't do that. So he proceeded through the door to come down front anyway. And security ekbaloed the brother. I'll never forget that day. They picked that brother up at the top step, and he didn't touch anything but that door with his head until he was outside. Now, I don't say that to boast. What I'm saying is, that's how you have to deal with the devil. You hear what I'm saying, people? You can't be playing with it. And that's what this is about. It's just not saying cast out everybody. Cast out devils. That's what the verse says. Who are devils? That word is pronounced daimonion. What does it say? The messengers. You mean the devil got ministers? Huh? The devil got ministers? Yes. Ordained. Licensed. With robes. In churches. And mosques. Thank you. And temples. Yes, the devil has ministers. And how do you find out who they are? You don't have to be judgmental. Look at the person next to you and say, there's a difference between judgmental and discerning. God wants you to exercise discernment. Not only God, I want you to exercise discernment. I want you to sit back and have enough mama wit. They're like them old mothers used to have. I see you, baby. You ain't fooling me. See, we scared to say that now. I used to hear that when I was young. Them mothers would tell it like it is, man. You know? You ain't fooling nobody. I mean, they just come straight out and tell you. And it wasn't being judgmental. It was called discernment. Cast them out. Raising the dead, brothers and sisters, the necros, is not without its rewards and its consequences. You know, I tell you, y'all coming all the way here from Ohio, that's a reward. That's a reward. I mean, that is so encouraging to me. It is so uplifting. It's strengthening that you would come from such a great distance, you know, and those of you, whoever else is visiting, even here at the African Village, the fact that you are here, it is encouraging to me. To me, that's a reward. Your presence is a reward. But understand, along with rewards come consequences. Here's how it goes. The reward is appreciated from those who have been raised from the dead. Let me say that again. Those who have been raised from the dead are the ones who show appreciation. But there's There's a consequence for raising the dead, y'all. Everybody in here who wants to raise the dead understand there is a consequence. The consequence for raising the dead is neutralization from those whose oppression is stopped. You see, much of the world exists and it flows on its oppression over the oppressed. When you set people free, you remove power from the oppressor. Somebody who got John 11, 43 through 53, somebody turn there right quick. John 11 chapter. It's too much for me to type. I type with 2 fingers. Can you believe that? I went all the way through postgraduate work with 2 fingers on a typewriter. You know I spent a whole lot of nights up, man. John 11, 43 through 53. Now, of course, this did not happen historically, but there's a lesson to be learned here. What does it say?
And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice.
He cried with a loud voice.
Lazarus, come forth.
Lazarus, come forth. Now, some deep stuff, because this story was stolen from ancient Kemet. And we read where Osiris, Horus, raised El-Azarus from the dead, which became Lazarus in the Bible. They steal everything. But that's another lecture. What happened? Lazarus! Lazarus, he who was dead. Lazarus, he who had begun to stink because he was dead. Lazarus, he who had become impotent and immobilized. Lazarus, he who the rest of the world say ain't no good anymore. Lazarus, come forth. Come forth. Come forth. And the text says that this dead man, who had been dead for 3 days, wrapped in grave clothes, started like what you was doing, brother. Lazarus, come forth. And he comes out of the tomb. What is it going to say? Check this out. Now, this is some deep stuff. Check out what happens. What does it say?
And he that was dead
And he that was dead,
came forth, bound hand and foot,
like some of you,
with grave clothes.
you were dead, you awakened from the dead, but you still had the bondage of tradition. You awakened from the dead, but you still had on the grave clothes of European philosophical thought.
Yes, we did.
What is it going to say?
And his face was bound about with a napkin.
That's some deep stuff. He's up from the dead like this. He ain't dead no more, but he still can't see. You get the picture? That's our condition. Our spirit is alive as African people, but we still can't see.
That's right.
Somebody got to take the grave clothes off.
There you go. Come on now.
Go ahead, sister.
Jesus said unto them,
Yes?
Loose him and let him go.
Loose Loose him and let him go. Now that's some deep stuff, because I can see the teacher saying, I've done my job. The rest of y'all, let him go. Stop holding him back. Loose him. Child, he ain't really alive. I remember what he used to do. Loose him. Let him go. It's the past. Oh man, I'm ready to stay there for the next hour, but I can't. Go ahead, sister.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary did what?
And had seen the things which Jesus did.
Once they saw him raise the man from the dead, what happened?
Believed on him.
Uh-oh. Many of the people that went to the synagogue and belonged to the other Baptist church. Many of the people that belonged to the down the street around the corner mosque began to believe on what this brother was saying. That is the reward. That's the reward. Man, what you're saying opened my eyes. Man, I ain't never seen it like that before. That's the good, that's the reward. Read on, sister.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees.
Uh-oh. Some of them who saw the same miracle, instead of giving appreciation, that sellout nature and then made them go to the Pharisees or to the clergy coalition, to the ministers' council, to the, you get the picture? And what happened? Read it.
And told them what things.
And told him, man, let me tell you what this brother over here doing. In case y'all don't know, he over there teaching this, he over there teaching that, he over there teaching this, and folk are coming from the mosque, folk are coming from other churches, folk are coming off the street who said they ain't ever stepping up in the church again. That's what's happening. Let me tell y'all, y'all better do something. Is this making sense, people? Here is the consequence of raising the dead. What happened, sister?
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council. They call a meeting on the brother.
All right.
That's what they did. They call a meeting on him. And what is it going to say? They said.
And said, what do we?
What are we going to do?
For this man doeth many miracles.
This brother is doing stuff that ain't nobody came here and done before. What is it going to say?
If we let him thus alone,
If we don't stop him,
all men will believe on him.
everybody gonna start believing on him. Y'all hear it? If we don't put a stop to this dude, we all gonna lose our business. We all gonna lose our money. Man, how you gonna pay for your Lexus if folks start going over there to African Village? You get the picture? Folks will start calling you on the phone. What you going over there for? You ain't got no business over there. He ain't preaching Jesus. Not understanding that it was the preaching of Jesus that had you in your grave clothes. I'm sorry. Got to tell it like it is. If what the slave master gave us ain't done no more for us than it has as a people, we need to throw it out the window anyway. Read on, sister. I'm about out of time here.
And the Romans shall come and take away.
And the Romans, now check out this. The preachers of that day said, if we don't stop this brother, the white man is going to come and take our church from us. Trying trying to make it as practical as I can, y'all. The Romans, ain't that deep? The Romans are going to come and take away both our place and our nation. They're going to come wipe us out. Read on.
And one of them, named Caiaphas.
Now that's some deep stuff. One of his own people. This wasn't a Roman. Caiaphas was one of his own people. Said, y'all, wait a minute. Hold up. I just got an idea. This dude is making it hard for all of us. So, since the European powers that be don't like what he's doing because he's raising black folk up. All right, you follow what I'm saying? And we need to get ready to implement they getting ready to implement a contingency plan here and wipe us all out. What we need to do is we need to somehow or another get around to all of the people and make them speak out against him.
Look at that.
That's what we need to do. We need to get around to the people and make them speak out against him. Let's get around to the people. Let's get a petition going and get around to the people, have them to sign the petition so we'll see how many people really will stand with us so we don't look like a fool when we get out there. Okay? And we'll turn this dude over to the Roman government and we'll tell him that he done broke the law and so they put him to death. And this way he becomes the sacrificial lamb. He can die for the people so that we don't have to die.